and we're doing Lawyers, Guns, and Money by.
I don't know who.
You don't remember who it is.
But it's called Lawyers, Guns, and Money.
That's so true.
Okay.
Leaving the program took courage.
To stare the emperor in the eye and call him naked.
I'm frightened. I want to be good,
But there's something else.
The ancients speak of glory.
sometimes I just want to be like Ford.
Aha!
No, not aha.
No, Lee, I think you're onto something.
We all sometimes want to be like Ford. That's the point. His life and the lives of those like him are merely temptations. Like cocaine or being a gangster.
A gangster?
You want to be a gangster?
No, I don't want to be a gangster. But part of me does. You know, a small part of me finds it tempting.
Gangster like gangbanger, gangster like the mafia?
Like the mafia. But my point is, once you examine the fantasy closely enough, you realize it is not in fact something you would actually want to do. Like being a lawyer, like Ford.
I thought you wanted to be a Beastie Boy.
I do. That's not temptation, that's just simply unrealistic. Given the chance, I would drop everything to become a Beastie Boy with no moral qualms whatsoever.
Me too. I would drop everything if I could be a Beastie Boy.
Well, maybe there's my answer.
I feel like you're mocking me now, which is fine, but I would hope that you steer clear of my hopes and dreams and confine your ridicule to what I do.
Which would be what?
Open dream?
That's more like it. Pretend that I don't actually do anything worth talking about.
But Kevin, you don't. When we ask you what you've been up to, you never talk about your job. If it's not important to you, why should it be important to us?
You're still doing temp work, right?
Yes.
Kevin, we take our cues from you.
Do you like it?
No. But it's very, very easy.
Well, okay.
I'm gonna show you something.
Is it a new tattoo?
It will surprise you and might make you a little bit upset.
I don't want to see it.
Now, don't worry, it's nothing gross. Well, it's a handgun.
Oh, Kevin.
Kevin, it's okay. We love you.
See, this is exactly what I was trying to avoid. Look, it's unloaded. Touch it.
I'm leaving.
Wait. Kevin, what's the matter? What's going on?
I'm gonna stand up
Oh, God.
and step away from the gun. The gun will be by itself, unloaded, and therefore it will not hurt us. Let's all take a breath. Ford, Lee, I have a business proposition.
You are a gangster.
A heist. You're planning a heist and you're running us in.
No heist. What I'm proposing is completely legal. In fact, Ford, if anything seems otherwise, I'd like for you to let me know.
You're shrewd.
Already planning your defense. Attorney-client privilege.
How much do you think that cost?
Is it hot?
200.
No, I purchased it legally, retail. There was a waiting period, and I have a permit.
300?
Let me see it.
Ford! No, it's okay. Let him load it. What do you think?
European automatic. I assume it's not counterfeit. 1,200.
That costs $800.
What are you gonna do with it?
Ford, put it down.
Let Lee hold it.
No.
Come on, give it a try.
Only.
Why? What for?
Because it's your right. Like voting or freely practicing your religion.
I think the Second Amendment is suspect as written, and even more so as interpreted. You know, I favor very strict gun laws.
So do I, Lee.
Don't we all?
Come on, Lee, take the gun. Handle it as if it were loaded.
That's a trick they tell you to do.
That's just the kind of smart, responsible thinking that makes me comfortable giving you a gun.
It's pretty nice, dude. It's surprisingly heavy. There we go.
How does it feel?
Well, okay. It has heft. It's like a machine.
How much do you think that cost wholesale?
I don't know about things like that. 700?
400.
That thing wholesales for about $500.
You're gonna sell them to gangsters from the trunk of your car. There's a shipment waiting at the border, am I right?
Kevin, that's bad.
Nasty.
There will be no selling of guns to gangsters. And the whole back of my trunk bit seems a little sordid. But I am proposing that we get into the gun business.
Like open a store?
Have you guys ever heard of the term multi-level distribution?
Oh, Kevin.
Your reaction is completely understandable.
What's multi-level distribution?
Try pyramid schemes.
Technically, pyramid schemes are illegal. Now,
Oh, what's this like? What's the name of that company?
don't say it.
My cousin tricked me into going to a meeting and they made me buy a bunch of soap and bad gum.
You set us up. This whole get together for drinks thing was all a setup, just so you could get us into your little cult. Next thing you know, you're gonna bring in some guy who will let us in on an opportunity.
There is no cult.
Since we're a pyramid gun cult.
You made me hold the gun. That's a trick they try to do.
There is no they. This is me. My idea. Yes, there's a pyramid, or there will be, but it's ours. We're at the top.
Selling guns?
Yes, to our friends, and at the same time encouraging them to do likewise. We make money from what we sell, and more importantly, we get a cut from what they sell, and so on, exponentially, like a pyramid.
Because of multiplication.
Yes,
We don't exactly hang with the gun crowd, Kevin.
exactly. The people we know wouldn't dream of holding a gun, but if given the chance privately, most of them would be thrilled to handle a firearm, and most of them would be surprised to know that they could afford one.
Guns are inherently dangerous.
The world's inherently dangerous.
Statistically, a gun is more likely to be used against its owner than actual defense of its owner.
Statistically, people are more likely to believe in alien abductions than they are to vote. I trust myself in my judgment, and I'm counting on my friends to do likewise.
Would you say to Jake?
Jake Ingram? Sure.
What about his wife?
And what about him?
She's heavily medicated. Here she breaks things in anger.
Right. I would encourage Jake to consider his domestic situation as I would anyone, particularly households with children. I would encourage him to purchase a lockbox and a trigger lock, but ultimately, the decision would be his.
It could be complicated, legally.
Dealer permits are cheap and easy to get, and there's a new conceal and carry bill before the legislature that, if passed,
Could blow this whole thing wide open, right. But you know, I'm just a little concerned about the lack of potential for repeat business.
Don't be. Once you get one, you find yourself wanting more. This is my third. Talk to me, Lee.
I feel ashamed.
Shame's unhealthy. That's your mama talking.
My mother is self-enlightened and liberated. This would break her heart.
Lee, I respect your mother. I respect the work she's done. ERA, pro-choice, childcare, all of that has been about options and self-determination for women. That pistol you're holding, that's just another step. That's just another set of options that traditionally women have been denied but are legally and morally theirs by right. Your mother wasn't afraid to shock her mother. And she didn't raise you to be afraid to shock her.
I can sell her one.
Give it to her as a gift with lessons.
Sometimes nasty is good.
So, is this a scam or a legitimate business?
We're at the top of the pyramid. I don't think it has to be either or.
What are we selling? Guns?
Security.
Opportunity.
Power.
Power.
Without that, you can't really be said to have it all now, can you?
Lee,
Yes, Ford?
are you still afraid?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get me a big ass Suburban. Dark green. Bulletproof.